In this tutorial, you will see how to add a learning objective to your outcomes assessment foundational documents. Whereas learning goals are broad aspirational statements for student learning, learning objectives are action items, specific behaviors you intend to measure to see if students are reaching the learning goals set by the department. I'll start by clicking on Planning, which is the set of tools for outcomes assessment and accreditation. On the upper menu, I'll click on Dashboard, which will help us find our individual department documents. Then go down to the lower dashboard that says Mission and Goals. This is where you find the departmental level documents. On the left of this window, you'll see a hierarchy for Hofstra University. We have to locate the department and the program within the hierarchy. So I'll expand academic units, I'll expand colleges, and expand Hofstra College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. We're looking for the psychology department. Here it is. Psychology has many separate programs. So I'm going to look for the Psychology BA program, and we'll add a practice learning objective for the Psychology BA program. Since this practice item is a new item, I go to the New Item menu. I'm looking for a learning objective. Here it is. I click on Learning Objective, and now I get a template. It's also known as a data type. It's a collection of variables for entering information about, in this case, the document, which is our learning objectives. Now, learning objectives are nested within learning goals. We've already spoken about the numbering system. You want to pick a logical system that sorts easy. So what I've been using for psychology is PSY, BA for the BA program. All right, I'll put in objective. I'll call this 1A because it's related to goal 1 and it's the first objective. I can give this an abbreviated title, and let's say this is for core knowledge in fundamental or basic research areas. You can also give a full title. Sometimes you want to have a bit more information for a printed report. But for now, I'm just going to put the same title in, the abbreviated title, and in the full title. Whenever you see an I, that means if you roll over that, you'll get some instructions. And the abbreviated title should be no more than 20 characters. The full title can be longer, and I'd recommend no more than 80, or let's say no more than 40 characters. You can put in a brief description here, and this should be the basic text that describes that learning objective. Learning objective should be in behavioral language. What is the behavior students will demonstrate? And below, we can give it a date range. You can select any date range you want, but let's say that the objective was made in the academic year 2012-2013. Since we've already created the objective, I'm going to say that it's completed, although you could indicate any item that is ongoing. Under roles, you can assign a particular person who's responsible for that document. All right. Earlier, when we described learning goals, I described how to relate each document in the hierarchy. So for this one, learning objective 1A, I'm going to relate it to goal 1, which is our goal about foundational knowledge for the Psychology BA program. So to do that, to relate this document to the documents in the hierarchy, first go to the bottom, save the information so far entered. That's important. because you won't see the Editing tab or the Related tab until some information is saved in the system. Click on Related, and now we can add a document that this particular learning objective will support. What is higher up in the hierarchy that is supported by this learning objective? I'll click on Add. Let's look in the Psychology BA program here. These are the documents we've stored so far. If you don't see the document you're looking for, you can click on Edit Filter, right, and select the particular year, whether it's all years or the most current year. Let's use all years for now. All right. And I just earlier added a practice assessment. Let's see if I can find that. Psychology BA. Okay, here's my practice goal. I'm going to select the practice goal to relate this specific objective to. I'll click on Add. And now our goal, core knowledge, basic research, is related to goal 1, which is core knowledge. And I can close this window, or I can go back to the Edit tab and put in more information. Now that I've related this document to the goal that's higher up in the hierarchy, I can answer this question: have you related this learning objective to a departmental goal? And the answer is yes. Okay. I also want to relate it to a goal category. This is so that departments or schools can take a look at all the activity within a particular kind of goal. So let's go ahead and make that relation. I'm going to go back up to the Related tab. I'm going to add another item that this objective supports. But now I'm looking for goal categories, and the goal categories live at the level of academic units. I have to click on this level in the hierarchy, and let's see, I've got some different categories here: critical thinking, quantitative analytical reasoning, but we have one category specifically for discipline-specific knowledge. So I'm going to relate this learning objective to discipline-specific knowledge. I'll click on Add, and there we go. This learning objective is now connected to Goal 1 and Academic Goal Category 9, Discipline-Specific Knowledge. I can close this window, or I can go back to the Edit tab. All right, now I can add a full description of this learning objective. All right, I've done the relations between this learning objective and documents higher up in the hierarchy, the goal category and the goal for the department. So I'll click on Yes. And now you'll answer some basic information about this learning objective. What are the established or required methods for assessing this objective and action step? I can click on Edit and put in information such as the method for assessing this objective may be the major fields test. Or it could be embedded questions on a departmental exam or some other method. So now I can click on Update. And here the information shows in this field. What are the established or required performance threshold for determining this objective action step has been met? Let's say, just as an example, 50th percentile on the national norms. Click on Update. Okay. And that's it. I can also add documents to here if there's any supporting documents that would be helpful going forward. But now we're done with entering a learning objective. And I can click on Save and Close. And here in the list of documents I can see this practice assessment. Where is it? Core Knowledge Basic Research. That's it.